Welcome to the Wave Strength. Innovative solutions for a secure retirement. Presented by Pacific Life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Wave Strength podcast series. I'm your host, Jim Breen, head of marketing with Pacific Life's institutional division. We're very excited right now to be live on the conference floor at the 2023 NAPA 401k Summit in beautiful San Diego, California. Joining us in our studio today, we have two fantastic folks that are going to share a little bit about their social media strategy as it pertains to their advisor business. So before we dive into that, I'd love to introduce our guests. We'll start, Domenick, maybe you can share a little bit about who you are, your business, and what we're doing here today.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Jim. Basically, I'm in the business 28 years, but as I've grown over the more recent past, is that social media is where people go to look at us. It's our digital resume. Somebody might not say they looked at it, but if you're setting an appointment with them, they're looking at your social media. They're going to know who you are before they get there. They might be searching you and to look for a financial advisor, which I actually had somebody, the first story I got of last year was a woman calling me up, basically saying, I want to talk about financial planning. And my question to her was, who referred you to me? She's like, no, I Googled you and you had great credentials, so I wanted to work with you.
And that's fantastic, and I want to unpack that more because people don't realize that, you have that first interaction, be it in person, face-to-face, or over the phone, or somebody mentions you in a conversation, says, I remember that guy, Domenick, and I think he's in New York, Domenick, New York advisor. All of a sudden, you pop up. How did that happen? Well, there's a strategy behind that.
Everybody thinks when they get on social media, I post once or twice, 3 times, and I'm not getting anywhere. You have to be active on social media. It's called social media.
Social media.
So you should be social.
It's not called one-time media.
No.
It's social media.
So I try to make sure that every day between 8 and 8:30 when I'm home, at the conference I've done stuff on and off, but just to make sure I post something and I comment on people. You got to have conversations with people because if you're not having conversations, you're not getting pulled up the algorithm.
Conversation, yeah. And I want to talk more about conversations in a moment, Domenick. That's great. But Stephan, first, let's learn a little bit about your background. Why don't you share that with our audience?
Great. Thanks, Jim. I have 8 years in the business. Long Island-based advisor. I love what I do. I treat my clients like family. As it pertains to social media, I'm a millennial. I grew up in the generation of, where social media really started, right? I was an early adopter with Facebook and Instagram, so I understood it right away. As it pertains to business, I had to pivot a little bit as to what content I was putting out. I did notice that, our audience actually genuinely enjoys our personal lives. Right? If I'm going out and playing golf or if I'm out to dinner with my wife, if I post that stuff on LinkedIn, it actually gets more traction than, what the market's been doing or, maybe social security articles. So as interestingly enough, personal information on your business page works out pretty well for us.
People love a story. And for years, since the beginning of time, since the first campfire ever happened, people love stories. And, fast forward to the technology that we have at our fingertips today, that hasn't changed, right? People want to connect. And when we are able to be vulnerable a little bit and break down the wall, share a little bit of, like you say, about, hey, I'm heading out, or boy, this was a hard day. I had a lot of meetings today. I'm tired, be vulnerable. It's a way for people to see that you're a real person, that you have feelings, that you're willing to take care of them perhaps in a way that others may not be able to do. And it's interesting because it's almost like a softening of the beaches, right? Where, what you're doing is you're creating a digital persona so that when somebody does Google Stephan or Domenick, they're going to see that there's a connection there, right? That perhaps that in-person that they already had with you matches up with that digital footprint that exists online.
Absolutely.
So talk to a little bit, Domenick, about maybe some of the trends that you've seen in the last even 5 years, where, let's be honest. I mean, those of us that, have, kids and, work and all of a sudden, especially with the pandemic, oh my gosh, it's been 5 years already. It's been 10 years already in some cases. And some of us, we get into kind of a rhythm with certain things that maybe we're not as comfortable with, posting on social media, for example. And so what you did, 5 years ago even, is not something that works today. So let's maybe talk a little bit about your thoughts on current social media strategies.
It is 100% in this day and age, people want to know you're a human being. Like, two of my biggest hit posts of last year was the day I made my dog Cooper our chief rollover specialist. And then last October, I traveled a lot to different conferences, and I took my daughter out for a manicure and a pedicure. And I had a picture of me getting, a pedicure. It's showing them that I'm going to stand up for my daughter. I'm going to be there with her, and I'm not big, tough man that can't go get a manicure and a pedicure with my daughter and show her what she should look for. And that got a lot of feedback because people love seeing that. They love seeing people, you caring about your children. We do a lot of charity and philanthropy, and that draws a lot of COIs to us because they're
Explain COI. I'm sorry to interrupt, but for our audience members this is an educational opportunity for them.
They're centers of influence. They're in some industry that they can refer people to us. Again, everybody can look at anybody's LinkedIn page, and if they do halfway decent job, I'm going to know what you do for a living. But I don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And as people are seeing who we are, they're more adept to want to talk to us and open up and have conversations and be part of our community.
Yeah. Stephan, have you had any experiences, you mentioned a moment ago as a millennial, you started kind of running. You hit the ground running in a way. Are you surprised with maybe some of these new communication technologies and techniques that folks are running after here in this like post-pandemic age?
Great question, Jim. I'm actually relieved. Social media, again, has just been a part of my everyday personal life.
Mm-hmm.
So to include it in my business has been a seamless transition. I believe it gives our clients the best experience with us and allows us to connect with us even further than our in-person, interactions and our emails that they receive on an ongoing basis. So it's something that we have a lot of fun with. We're really excited to keep learning more about how we can connect more with our clients, and just again adding more content to our LinkedIn and Facebook pages.
So, as we're talking about a lot of these new opportunities to communicate, from an educational point of view, somebody that is watching this right now, they may say, Domenick, Stephan, okay, I'm ready to post more. I'm ready to go outside of Hootsuite or one of these more automated systems to post my content, and I'm going to start creating more holistic, curated content on my own. Where is that barrier? What's too much? How do I know where the guardrails are?
One of our good posts, Stephan got married in July.
Oh, congratulations!
And one of the things they do is they balance a drink on their head. So he posted a picture of me and him balancing a drink on our head. That was part of a cultural thing and a celebration. And the next thing, as we're talking about trends, is videos. So I started recently this year with Meeting Minutes with Domenick, where I'm talking about what I'm learning at a conference like we are at today to show the public that even though I'm in the business 28 years, I can still learn. I can still get new ideas that I can bring back to clients and prospective clients. And people want to see that because nobody wants to work with the guy that says he knows everything or the girl that says she knows everything. They want to work with the person that wants to learn more.
Is a human,
yes.
A heart of a teacher, if you will.
Exactly.
So let me ask a question here, without revealing too many trade secrets or anything. Can you share feedback that you get from your clients? Do you hear them say, oh, I saw you online, or hey, I love what I saw you post the other day? I mean, do you hear those interactions?
We most definitely do. And what I tell them is stop being a stalker and actually comment or like it so I know you're actually looking at it. Because I hear it all the time. Oh, I saw this, or I told somebody to look at it. So people will say, how do you quantify what you're doing? Well, we're getting feedback enough that we know it's working, but we don't know all of the people that are looking at it that are going to interact with us because they don't always tell us they saw it.
Yes.
So you always want to have your best game going forward with it because you don't know when that next prospective client is going to say, oh, wow, I got to work with Domenick and Stephan because I know who they are. These are people I can socialize and deal with.
What about frequency, Stephan? Perhaps you can share with our audience, again, somebody that's, okay, I'm ready to start doing this, Domenick, Stephan, they're right. I need to start doing this. What about frequency? Is it, you get these people that think, oh, well, I'm going to post what I had for breakfast, post what I have for lunch. But what kind of frequency should somebody be looking at?
There's a healthy balance in doing it every, 2 to 3 hours or doing it once a month. I can tell you this, if you're going to do it once a month, you might as well not even do it.
Okay.
I believe every single day you should have some kind of post, whether it's in the afternoon, or after work hours. That's generally when people are on social media the most, usually between their lunch hour or between 5 and 7 p.m.
Okay.
Well, post-COVID, it's probably been more often.
Sure.
And also professionals do tend to use it for work, so there are really no limitations as far as time goes, but, you have to tap into the algorithm and comments and post at least once a day. If you do multiple posts, it can actually mess the algorithm up a little bit, so just keep that in mind.
And what about the platforms? Are we looking at, are you guys at Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook? Are you Twitter? Like what do you, if somebody was going to say, okay, I'm looking for 3, I have time for 3 platforms, what would you recommend?
Well, LinkedIn is where the business owners are and the higher net worth people. So if that's your market, that's really where you want to key your stuff. Like I'll share posts on Twitter, I'll share posts on Facebook, but most of the traction for this industry is linked to LinkedIn.
Yes.
So that's really where you want to have your game going. But to the best of your ability, you want to have the same header, the same headshot on all avenues. So when people see you, they know there's Domenick, there's Stephan, there's Jim. Because if it's different every time, they might miss you in your post because they're not looking for that.
Absolutely. Maybe you can give me some advice. When I try and share my LinkedIn posts to my MySpace page, I have trouble. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding with that. Seriously, though, Pacific Life, we have a very interesting social media strategy. We talked about this yesterday. Our social media strategist, Shay Freitas, has helped our institutional business team focus on ways in which we can think outside the box. LinkedIn, I would say, pre-pandemic, let's just say, they would seem to really float or value posts that were very much business driven.
Absolutely.
And it seems as if we now see LinkedIn moving more towards what Facebook, what Instagram and others did, where they actually will float posts that focus on the story. And what we've been able to do with our institutional business team is really focus on ways in which we can continue the story. So you talked video earlier. So we will do a post, but that post is not just a post. It's a post about a video that one can click on. That video is connected to a press release. The press release is connected to it. So we have, if you will, these Lego bricks that we can move around as needed, but it all stems from that communication. So one of the things that we've done is LinkedIn, they've really increased their visibility with their LinkedIn Live platform.
Yes.
So whereas we were doing our live events, Domenick and Stephan, outside of LinkedIn, and then we would repost, we can now do that within LinkedIn. So the engagement, we just had an event last week. Franklin Templeton joined us and some others from ALI, etc. Our engagement, because we were running it through the comments, because we were running everything and engaging folks during the live event, the engagement was through the roof. Absolutely. And I agree with you 100%. So maybe you guys can share a little bit about your thoughts about what you see as a kind of a next step. Like what's next for these folks?
Next for them or next for us?
Well, next for what can your clients expect from you as it pertains to your social presence?
We have a podcast that is in the works. It will be running soon. It's Wealth Management Speaks, topics that matter to you.
Fantastic.
We're going to be interviewing our COIs, and so you can learn about different industries. I have a 15 and 11-year-old, so I'm going to be doing financial education for children, and they're going to be my interviewees.
Great idea.
And I'm going to do that at the kitchen table. So because nobody's taking their kids to an office to talk about it, so we're going to do it in my kitchen at the kitchen table and just have a chat and teach them what we can teach other children.
Well, that's so great, Domenick, to hear you talk about financial literacy because it's so important. And obviously, we wish that there was more of that in the school system. And why not turn to social media to bring that financial education to the public.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Stephan, maybe you can share a little bit about your thoughts as as a millennial, as you identified yourself as earlier, what's next for social media in general? Not that you have a crystal ball, but as somebody that's in the industry, an advisor that's really trying to help your clients, what's next?
I believe that individuals who are looking for certain professionals are going to start to look on social media for those professionals. More often than not, we engage with clients and prospective clients through education and introductions. But I think there's another stream, if you will, and I believe social media will be that source for us to help engage with prospective clients. Hopefully make a name for ourselves and make us easily shareable with their friends and family, so that way we can help as many people as possible and impact their lives.
Let me ask the two of you as we begin to wrap up here. Domenick, we'll start with you. What advice would you give to somebody that's just starting?
That's fantastic. Don't listen to what we're doing today. I started this, with doing it a couple times a week, and then it came into every day between 8 and 8:30. Then it became adding more pictures and more content. Then it became videos now. That wasn't done overnight. You can't attack this and expect to grow exponentially in one day. You have get a process, get it started going, learn your audience, learn what people want to see, and grow from there.
It's almost like the advice you would give to somebody planning for retirement who says, "Oh, I've got bills, I've got to pay off my college tuition, I've got kids." He says, "Start small,
Right?
$1 a day, start."
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's really what it is. It's a post a day. Start with a post a week, even.
Yes.
And before you know it, you get comfortable with it, and it turns into a post a day. Stephan, any thoughts that you would share with any folks looking to begin in this area?
Just do it.
Just
right?
do it.
Just get on the computer, get on your phone. I mean, it's that easy, right? iPhones or Androids today have amazing videos and capability to edit and what have you. We're on our phones looking at our emails. Capture your life, right, and share it with your friends and family and friends on LinkedIn and Facebook. See where it takes you, right? Take a leap of faith.
Make that human connection.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, we're all people, and to be able to, soften the beaches, as we said earlier, to have that human touch, that human interaction, that conversational interaction, it goes a great distance, and it means a lot. Even us as consumers, right? What are we going to do? We want to look at a new service in our neighborhood. Then we're going to go online and see some of the reviews.
Absolutely.
See their digital footprint,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who referred them?
Exactly. So if folks want to get in touch with you, Domenick, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, LinkedIn is a great place. It's Domenick D'Andrea. And then I have AIF, CRC, and CPFA. So just Google Domenick D'Andrea, Domenick, D'Andrea, D'Andrea. I'll pop up.
Fantastic.
I'll like them down at the top.
Fantastic. Stephan, how would folks reach out with you if they're interested?
Same here. I am the only Stephan Shatarah on the East Coast. I live in New York, so I'm very easy to find. So it's STEPHAN SHATARAH CRC CPFA as well. But again, it's very easy to find me. So, or contact information is on LinkedIn. You can email us, give us a phone call. We're happy to answer questions and be a resource as well.
Fantastic. Well, Domenick, Stephan, I want to thank you so much for sitting with us. I know you're busy here on the conference floor, so thanks for taking time to join us in the studio here.
Not a problem. Thank
really
you
appreciate
for your
it.
time also.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And to our audience members, I want to thank you for joining us on another episode of the Wave Strength podcast series. Again, I'm your host, Jim Breen. I want to encourage you to head over to YouTube, Spotify, Audible, search The Wave Strength by Pacific Life, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay current with our new content. Thanks again, and have a great day, everyone.
This has been another episode of The Wave Strength, presented by Pacific Life. Don't forget to catch us on YouTube and make sure to subscribe. Although this podcast is presented by Pacific Life, the opinions and views expressed are those of the hosts and participants and do not necessarily reflect Pacific Life's views on any of the topics discussed. Unless otherwise noted, Pacific Life is unaffiliated with any other company mentioned. Pacific Life is a product provider. It is not a fiduciary and therefore does not give advice or make recommendations regarding insurance or investment products. Pacific Life, its affiliates, its distributors, and respective representatives do not provide any employer-sponsored qualified plan administrative services or impartial advice about investments and do not act in a fiduciary capacity for any plan. Pacific Life refers to Pacific Life Insurance Company and its affiliates, including Pacific Life and Annuity Company. Insurance products can be issued in all states except New York by Pacific Life Insurance Company or Pacific Life and Annuity Company. In New York, insurance products are only issued by Pacific Life and Annuity Company. Product availability and features may vary by state. Each insurance company is solely responsible for the financial obligations accruing under the products it issues. This podcast was recorded on April 3rd, 2023.
Thanks for joining us on today's show. We'd love to hear from you. Join the conversation below and leave a comment on your thoughts on what the industry can do better for participants as it pertains to lifetime income solutions. And if you'd like more interesting content, click one of these links over here.